Hi all, welcome to week 4 of Monday Reflections, and this is where I read some calming poetry of my own, and then there's like a topic or a theme for the week, and then I also read some really great poetry from a poet I admire. So this one on week 4 is on reflections, being reflective, being that this is the fourth week of Monday Reflections, and I always quite think it's quite good to be reflective, almost to give you like a kind of sense check about what's happened and where you're going. So, if you've had a bit of a stressful couple of days, or you feel a bit anxious, if staying alert makes no sense, then definitely I recommend while I read this one. It's called "I Smell Like Popcorn." Um, Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I suggest think of something that's really calming. Think of something that makes you happy. So it could be a particular person, it could be food, or imagining you're on a beach somewhere. And while I perform this, I smell like popcorn. I remind you of a smell, resplendent, similar to your past. I remind you of the nostalgia of a sunny day, Pebble Beach, and salt and vinegar chips. I'm your afternoon treat after a trip to the pictures, before a midnight boogie. I give you that warmth you need, that sense of home, that reminder that you are not alone, holding my hand down the winding road. You said I smell like popcorn. It smells so good. It smells so inviting. Popping kernels in a white flame as the oil burns, a chemical reaction takes place. This image locked in your memory, popping up, readying your path as I lead you into that familiar sense of home. Pretty box, yours blue stripes, mine the ribbons you gave me. If I smell like popcorn, then I remind you of a home away from home, a home where you are not alone, a home where you can be at home with me. I hold you close to my memory, building sandcastles, sand grains on our palms, sand in between our toes. Playing bucket and spades in the rock pools, crabs flitter by. If I smell like popcorn, then I'm your sense of home, and you are my sunshine and bright blue skies. Thank you. So, yeah, I normally kind of, if I'm doing like a set, I normally kind of finish with that poem because I always think it's just a very, yeah, it's kind of makes you kind of feel better. I think even that made me kind of reminded myself that it will all be okay. Um, so why I decided that being reflective and reflection should be this kind of topic of the week is because I think it's important to kind of always look back, and it's not necessarily look back in a mournful sense or in a frustration, but it's to kind of have a sense about where you've been, where you're going, how far you are on your road to your goals, and what you could do potentially. So it's almost like a sense of affirmation. It's a sense of kind of looking at things in perspective where you can kind of realize, okay, here I am now. This is kind of what led to this moment. Where else am I going, or what else am I trying to do? And I think it's useful because it's almost because things are so uncertain, it's hard to kind of stay centered in reality. It's hard to kind of know either what the day is or what to do. And sometimes, even when you're getting conflicting advice, it's hard to know what's right. And so I kind of think this week is good to find a positive way of anchoring yourself, centering yourself, finding that sort of clarity in all the kind of mist of confusion. So, yeah. But I'm now going to read a poem by a poet I admire. His name is Dan Simpson. I've got his book here, Totally Cultured. And Dan's one of those people that on the poetry scene. You hear these names all the time. Like there's a couple of names I can think of right now, but you constantly hear them. And then when I saw him, I was like, it was amazing. His set was so intricate and so interesting, and how he went from different themes, different poems, and what I wanted to read one is one he's got called, which is called Nostalgia. So I'm going to try and do it justice. Do you remember nostalgia? Ah, I remember remembering back in the day when we thought back to days gone by and said those were the days. And they really were. The days, that is. Those good old days when we talked about the past like a domestic country, everything knowable and easy. When mesmerizing was a simple pleasure, unlike now. When the kids didn't know they were born because they weren't yet. But even that was a joy to contemplate. Sepia-toned memories of memories were easy to come by. Everyone remembering all the time. Sentimental about nostalgia? Me? Hardly. Listen, let me tell you about a better era of pining for the past. I remember it as it was yesterday, because it was yesterday, and the day before that. Stretching back into all the yesterdays of last week, all the last weeks of last month, all the last months of last year, all the last years of the entirety of our lives, the entire lives of generations gone by. I remember them all. What simple times they were. I seem to recall when walking down memory lane was easy. Now I stumble on every little remembrance, longing for that bygone age of classical wistfulness. But I do wish we could turn the clock back, even by a few minutes, seconds, even, but alas, I remember nostalgia. It's just not what it used to be. So, yeah, it seemed like a poignant poem to kind of read in regards to the theme. So, I hope you all are well. I hope you're all doing safe. Stay alert. And as always, stay safe, stay tuned. And I will see you next Monday for another Monday Reflections. Bye.